and welcome into this video, which is the video about Kapha dosha, the last dosha in our workshop. So we covered the Vata, we covered Pitta. Now you understand what your Pitta does, why it is important to stay in harmony, same like your Vata. You got some nice exercise of pranayam and the self-massage Abhyanga. And now let's talk about Kapha. And I want to say this: you will love, especially when if you are in the self development time of your life, or if you are interested in the spiritual growth, spiritual business growth, that you will love, especially one of the type, which is called Tarpaka Kapha. But I'm just jumping to make you more excited. I will keep it for last because it's a vast one, and I want to make sure that we cover everything there, so you will understand, and I don't have to think about anything else. So all the attention will be dedicated to the Tarpaka Kapha in the end. But now let's talk about the qualities of Kapha. We already covered some in previous videos. So Kapha, its quality is it's heavy, it's mucousy, it's slow, it's cold, and more. But remember those because, for example, what kind of food bring has this mucousy quality or this coldish quality, right? For example, mushrooms, they have this mucus, right? Or whatever it is, it's also a fat. So if you eat fatty things, or you like the, oh God, how is it called? We call it salona in Hungarian, or Spitek in Czech. The fat of the pig, basically. For example, there are or different kind of fats. That is kapha too. And where this kapha is mostly in our body, that is our lungs. It's also in the heart. It is in the spine. It is in the cerebral spinal fluid. It's in the stomach. It's in the bones as well. So and our also mouth and spleen. It's like everywhere in the body. All three doshas are everywhere. Uh, but to know and recognize them, that is just for you to understand a little bit, to know, that there are different energies, different qualities of energies. So we are not going deeper into what is where and so on. It's too confusing. But you will already know a couple of things of today. So, for example, the stomach, that is our first time, which we will talk about, is the klinika kapha. It's the protection wall of the stomach, right? Now there is also vata in the stomach, which helps digestion, and there is pitta, which brings this digestive enzymes and acids into it. So you see, the three doshas are there in one organ, and every disharmony can create different things. But anyway, let's talk about the first, which is called Gledak Kapha. But before we go there, I want to also mention the function of Kapha. So, what does Kapha do in our body? Several things. It helps us with grounding, nourishing. It brings good sleep, regeneration, stability. It brings energy. And if kapha is in harmony, it brings this possibility or ability to forgive, and compassion and love. Those are qualities of kapha. And if I didn't say remembering, so the people who have a very good memory, though this is kapha memory. Oppositely, vata is when you learn quickly but you forget quickly. Kapha stays. What you learn, it stays there. Or also what you remember, or something happened, you remember that. And what you remember once, you remember forever. Maybe it's your type of you, maybe not. I'm more into vata memory. Yeah, it's nothing really nice, but I found trick how to work with vata memory. So just for the information. And now let's go to the first kapha, which is called Ledaka kapha. I prepared like a small picture here for you, but I hope or I believe it's gonna help. So imagine this is the stomach, okay? And in the stomach, as you see, I mentioned, there is this wall, this protecting wall, and that is what is called also the kledakakava. It's there, or also the stomach mucosa. You see that there is a note for you. It gives the protection. What kind of protection? Well, if you know probably that when we eat something, then the digestive enzymes and pepsins and acids are coming in handy for digestion. They are splitting the food. The kapha splits the food, and together with the digestion enzymes and acids, it helps to digest. So this protection wall here is called as the kapha. That is why it's so important to be there, because it protects the stomach from the acid burning, so you don't have to have gastritis, right? Gastritis happens when this wall is like out, and the digestive acid, the pachaka pitta, is strong, and it starts digesting your stomach. So you see, it's here. It's then the kapha is slow, and pachak pitta is high. It brings gastritis. So what happens, or how we actually do that? This protection wall can diminish or disappear, is if we are eating food which are actually making it happen. And it's mainly like cayenne pepper, curry, and alcohol. If you drink a lot of alcohol, especially this heavy alcohol or hard alcohol, it's diminishing slowly this protection wall, and it takes 72 hours for the stomach to rebuild it. 72 hours. And if you are partying, or you were partying, probably next day you didn't feel well, right? There was some maybe vomiting, there was feeling like this heaviness, this not good feeling in the stomach. And one of the reason is that your protection wall was burnt. But don't worry, there is help how to help your body to restore it, and that is through milk and non-spicy food. So if you happen to have this issue, or if you happen to have gastritis, or you feel like it's starting maybe happening, then you may try. Definitely with non-spicy food, you will do nothing wrong. So for some time, eat really no spicy food. I know it's not tasty, I know it's horrible, but you are doing it for your stomach. Help it to regenerate your kapha, your stomach mucosa. Okay. Now, when this kapha is balanced in your stomach, is when you are satisfied. It brings satisfaction, but it also brings satisfaction of or from small portions of food. So if you find yourself that you need to eat a lot and only from a big portion, you are satisfied, then your clinical kapha is not in harmony, is not in balance, and needs some attention. When your clinical kapha is okay, then you are happy and satisfied with a small amounts or smaller amount of food, because so when we eat more, the stomach has the ability, as you probably know, to be more or to grow. If you start eating less, it will shrink back into its shape. And as you may already know, that if this kapha is imbalanced and you need to eat a lot, guess where it can lead? It can lead to obesity, it can lead to diabetes, and it can lead also to high cholesterol. There is also something called emotional eating. I would like to a little bit stay here to explain what is emotional eating. There's also false hunger, when you are actually not hungry, but you feel hungry, but you're not. The emotional eating, that is, I think, the biggest or problem. What can happen? It happened to me. I know many people, they also do that. That is when you, for example, feel sad, when you feel disappointed, when you have these negative feelings, negative emotions. What happens that is that this clinic kapha, because it has this mucousy, and the kapha itself is sweet, and if it's mucousy, and with that it starts to be more thick, more like bluish, and it asks for food. Or in another hand, it may create that you cannot eat. It's really, it depends. I had problems where I didn't eat at all, I couldn't, or where I ate a lot. So it depends on the level of your klada kapha and what happens there in your stomach. What is this imbalance there? So it can create both. But of course, if you don't eat, you can't eat, and you don't do it for a couple of days, yes, you may lose some weight, but then you will get the yo-yo effect, because the body will get back into shape, and it got this energy which was stored for security and wasn't used. So, but tada, it will happen, or should be shown as fat in your body. So yeah, that's just checking. You have it here. It's obesity. It's here. Obesity, high cholesterol, diabetes. That is when this clinical kapha is not in a good shape. So there is a possibility to lower your cholesterol, to heal your diabetes and obesity by putting into harmony your clinical kapha. The way how we can do it, there are many. What I would suggest, and I would recommend here is to eat less, small portions. Maybe if you feel like you're hungry, then eat later again, but smaller portions of food which is less kapha producing. So less kapha food, like more like vata, pitta, less kapha food, and eat when you are feeling really hungry. Also, some exercise, if it is some workout, if it's yoga or whatever it is. And because everything happens first in our energy, then it goes into the physical body. So when we are going to heal our body, we have to go into energy field, because our body is a mirror of our energetics. Then of course, having a coach, having a mentor, having some professional help will do it work too. So the emotional eating, what is it? I wanted to say is when you feel not well and you have the need to eat, and that brings you satisfaction. In that time, when you feel those low emotions and you have this craving, you know it's not a good time to eat. Because when you eat the energy as well. So if you are watching a horror movie, do not eat. If you are listening to the negative news, or news at all, because they are usually negative, right? Then do not eat. If you are watching some movie with violence, do not eat. Do not eat with anger. Do not eat with sadness. Do not eat just after the arguing, because you are amplifying the energy when you are eating. So make or take your time to calm down, or take your time to pause the movie, and eat calmly. It really does a lot. And as you are starting seeing, I hope, the energy, how it works, how it affects our body, we are energy, right? So to make it right and to balance it is also not only through just food, but also to create the right circumstances for us to eat. And let's move on to another type of kapha, and that is avalambaka kapha, and that is in the lungs, heart, and the spine. What we want to put more attention here is on the lungs, because lungs are seat of grief and the sadness. So, what does this avalambaka kapha do? It protects our heart muscle. It brings or does the support, or the respiratory and cardiovascular support, and transfers the pranic energy into the whole body, into the cells, into the organs, and into the tissues, completely everywhere. So when you do the pranayam, it transfers the pranic energy into the whole body. Now, when you feel sad, when you feel or when you grieve, it's completely normal. It's okay to grieve and feel sad, especially when something happens or so. It's normal. It's how it works in the body for us to how to deal with certain things. But if you feel sad or if you grieve excessively, that is starting to be a problem, because one of the another function of this kapha is alveolar patency, and because of the sadness and the grief which the lungs are seed for, the this kapha is losing this mucousy nice quality, and it's like drying out, and it becomes more thick, more like a glue. So there is starting to be a problem with the lung function. And through the grief and sadness, if you are bathing in this sadness of that your business is not going as you want, or your life is not going as you want, or someone hurt you and you cannot forgive because it's something very big. I don't know what this could be. Maybe a divorce, maybe cheating, or a lie, or someone betrayed your trust, or whatever it is. I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to grieve, but then move on. Do not bathe in it. Do not go into this victimhood, because then can happen, you can develop asthma, you can have pneumonia, or a bronchitis. So it's not really helpful to you anyway. It doesn't bring any good. On the other hand, when this kapha, Valambaka kapha, is strong and it's in harmony, it brings this possibility of forgiveness, love, and compassion, and trust, faith there. Also, you can see on the people, if they are like this, there is not really self the courage or the trust, the faith, right? When people are like that, they are like closing themselves, hiding themselves. But those people who are, showing their breast, then those people are, they don't have problem to face problems, right? They have courage. They have faith, right? You can see it, you can recognize it. So that is when or how Avalamega Kapha works from the physical and from the emotional or energetical point of view. And now we are moving to another one, Bodhaka Kapha. I created another picture for you so you may learn maybe faster or easier from this. So, Bodhaka Kapha is in the mouth, especially it is in saliva. What it does, it brings the information from a taste to your brain, so you can recognize what kind of taste you feel and how it feels for you. On the tongue, which is a very important muscle, it's directly connected with plasma. It nourishes plasma directly, our tongue. And there are places where like centers of the six tastes. Probably we have, or you were told we have five, or there are five tastes, but actually there are six tastes. And as you see, so the tip of your tongue, there is a sweet. On the sides there is a sour. In the middle there is hot, and or in the middle, is bitter. Above the sweet is hot. In the middle is the bitter. On the sides, like in the half, there is a salty taste, and the back of the tongue is pungent taste. And when this kapha in the saliva is imbalanced, then it can affect the whole system of kapha in the body. So that means in your stomach, in your lungs, in your bones, and in your nervous system and brain. We will talk about that. So this is very important. Healthy saliva is more like liquidy. It's a little bit salty. Sweet. It's a little bit sweet, and a little bit sticky, like little bit. And if the Bodhaka Kapha is not in good quality, then the saliva is like thick. It's like gluey. I can't even talk about it. It's different, when the saliva is like, when you open your mouth or so, and it's connected basically with saliva. That's the thickness of saliva, and it shows something is wrong, and it will go directly into your plasma, and it will affect the whole kapha system in your body. But if you can find a triphala, which is a mixture of 3 herbs, then what you can do is to take a teaspoon of that powder, if you have it in powder. If not, then you make it. Pour it into the hot water, let it sit for a minute, and then you gargle with that. That is safe. That is used for everything. Triphala is I use it also as in a pills for cleansing my stomach from the toxins, and also my colon, the small and large intestine as well. So it brings and it takes it out of your body. But I would suggest to discuss this with your Vaidya or with your Ayurvedic doctor. Now let us give a little bit of time to Shlesha Kapha, which is in the joints, because it's also very important, especially for the older age. So it is basically somewhere where the two bones are matching, like in the joints. this kapha helps the bones when they are not creating pain. If the Schlesinger kapha dries out, that is the time when you feel pain, or it's this sound, in your, when you pull the fingers, or I hope you don't, but if you do that, and you feel the sound of that is vata, or some sound when you walk from the knee or from the hip, that says that the Schlesinger kapha is dried out or drying out, and the bones are starting. It shows, it brings the attention to you, so you don't have to suffer from arthritis. Oh, what is it when this happens? So another thing what you can do to prevent it is apyanga. Apyanga with the oil is nourishing whole body. It nourishing also the Schlesinger kapha in your bones, so you're preventing this to happen. And now let's move into the last one, the most interesting one, at least for me, which is called Tarpeka Kapha. It is in the brain and in the whole nervous system. So, show the picture again for you, this time bigger one. So this, what you are looking at, it's supposed to be a brain here. And here, this is the cover. This white sensitive cover. If you remember, we were talking about it while talking about Sadaka Pitta. So this is this very, very thin, very sensitive white cover of a brain. And that is the cover itself. It's Tarpeka Kapha. Also, it is in the larynges and cerebrospinal fluid. The cerebrospinal fluid is sweet a little bit due to glucose, which is in there, and a little bit salty due to minerals. So the sweet and the salty taste in the small or proper amount is actually nourishing your brain, nourishing your nervous system. In the small amount, it's very, very good and required for your brain to function and for the stability and strong nervous system. Now, in this cover, which also your whole nervous system is made of, Tarpeka Kapha records every experience. So if I say every, I mean completely every experience. What you have experienced since you were a kid, you were in the mother's womb, and also from the previous lives. It has connection to our astral body, and it records every previous life experiences. So that is, if you happened to touch your past life experience, that is because the prana energy went into the Tarpeka Kapha and brought it on the surface, so you remember it. But there is also a good reason why we don't want to remember things for security. It also protects us, but you can access any experience, any memory from your whole time of soul existence, your first reincarnation. Now, there is also in Tarpeka Kapha, there are also the memories of your family diseases. These are stored there. So, for example, when let's say your mom or dad or both they suffer from, or your grandparents suffer from diabetes, if you are going to live the same lifestyle as your parents and as your grandparents, then there is a high chance that the diabetes will evolve in your body too, because there's already a memory of that. So it may you might create a habit of eating the same thing, like, or overeating, eating a lot of fat, a lot of sugar things, and so on and so on. So you're actually, copying the habits of your parents or your grandparents. So how you can prevent it to happen is to change the habits, to do not follow in the steps of your parents, your grandparents, and you take care more about what you eat, how you eat, the quality of the food, the surrounding, and so on. We already covered. So you will go more for a healthy lifestyle, and that is how you can prevent this disease to happen. Because it doesn't mean if there's something in the family that you will catch it. You will catch it if you follow the steps. If you follow exactly the same lifestyle as your parents or grandparents did, which is like kind of like obvious that you are going in that path, because that is what you know, how you were taught, and so on. But by creating a change, you may prevent that to happen. Now let's continue. So every memory, every traumas, every blocks from this lifetime and previous ones are stored there. There's also there's also a story, or not story, there are more stories, but there are people who, for example, they fear water, and they have no reason, to fear, because they had negative experience, but they fear the water. And why they fear the water is, for example, that the life before they were drowned, so they died by drowning. So that is just an example, like how this is connected. Now, in the name of the Kapha, we have to talk also about time, space, and distance. So, about the time, our thought is a psychic time. Without time, there is no space. That we can agree on, right? Time is space, and where is space, there is distance. That we can also agree on, right? It's the same like I and you. Between us, there is a space and time, which is actually, as you see, is the same thing, right? Now, I am object, I am observed, and you are observer, right? The same way, when you want to manifest your future self, 6-figure or 7-figure business, or whatever it is you want to manifest, or a new car, or a new house, or a new lover, whatever it is you want in your life, you are looking at that as an object, right? And so it's an observed object, and you are observer, because you are, when you see it, when you think of it, you see it like in the distance, in the future, right? There is this time element, it's in the future. There's distance as well. So what we should do is to enter the state of consciousness or awareness where the observer and the observed object are one. That is when you feel into that, when you imagine and visualize, and you feel into what you want in your body right now. In that moment, you're observed and you're observer, plus also you are the observing process as well. You are all. And that is how you become one, this unity. this oneness, because in this way there is no separation. The observer is observed also, right? So you are one. Makes sense. And that is what or why it is so important to look at things without a distance, without time, without separation, because you look at it and it's now. You are bringing it in the now. It's now. It's reality. It's true for you, right? We were talking about it, right? Your reality and truth, right? So when the observer is observed, the same thing, the observed object, there is happening something important, which is transformation, and transformation is change, and the change is purification of the Tarpeka Kapha, purification of the traumas and the blocks. That is how it happens, because what Tarpeka Kapha does, it crystallizes. And I believe I was talking about it already, right? When every negative emotion, every negative experience, belief crystallizes, and it likes to sit in the certain areas of the body. So if we are feeling stress, we're feeling it, for example, here. If we are feeling um, fear from money, it's in the lower back. Or also it can go into the whole back. So if we are sad because of love, it's happening here. Also the faith and so on, right? It's here. So there are crystallized emotions, crystallized thoughts, crystallized beliefs. And Apyanga, as I already told you, will help you. This crystallized emotion, because it's already hard, it's crystallized. The oil will bring its oil quality, which will help you to release it, but also through embodying. Basically, it is embodying what you want, living it in your true self, believing in it, creates the change. It rewrites, also rewrites your self, and rewrites your Tarpeka Kapha. So this crystal which happened has no more reason to be there, to stay there, and it will leave. So together with the work of the Apyanga and your energetical work, so as you see, we are combining the physical work with the energetical work actually together, which we cannot separate, right? Body and mind, body and energy, because it's the same. The crystallization, which is telling you that you cannot have that, cannot achieve that, or because you are not smart enough, or whatever, right? Whatever the limiting belief is or the trauma is, will melt, will be released. Also, what is very important here to say, it's strengthening the nervous system. It rewrites everything. So therefore, you will be able to hold the new energy. Therefore, you are writing your current self through this work, through this embodying, through this observing, and be observer and be the thing which is observed in one time, in one space, here and now, which means embody the person you want to be. That is what's happening in your physical body when you do that. Isn't that fascinating? It's amazing. I was always interested in how this energy work, well, what is actually happening in my body? Like, why is no one asking this question? Like, everyone works only on the mind, which is important and very, very important work. I'm not saying anything, but aren't you curious, like, how it affects the body? Well, I was, and therefore I went into the study and I was blessed by this knowledge. So I can share that with you, because also your logic, your ego mind can be, shaken. They can be, if, like, say, okay, weakened, when you are working on yourself, because that is actually what is happening in your body. It's not only like on just like energy level, just invisible. You know what is happening here, so it's real. It's fucking real stuff. And that is the last kapha, which I found the most amazing. All of them are credible, all of them are important. But this kapha for me is the best. Sadaka Pitta is the best, and the Pranavata is the best. So I hope you gain some awareness, some little bit of knowledge about what is energy of Vata, what is energy of Pitta, what is energy of Kapha, what this does also on the physical body, on the energetical body. So you have some ideas how it works, and it can help you in your evolution to actually basically to be easier, to be easier. So when you feel dull, it's kapha. So you should avoid anything which is like kapha quality. When you feel fear, what to do, it's vata. So you don't create or don't put more of vata. So you're not aggravating more of the vata, more of the fear. When you feel angry, or that you should not eat, for example, the spicy foods, or um, expose yourself to more pitta enhancing food, or environment quality, or like watching aggressive movies, for example. So you balance that back, and you create back or go back into the harmony, and it's much easier to work from the state of harmony. It's faster. It's more when you are becoming aligned, more able to feel your intuition, to follow your intuition, to trust. The body intelligence is awakened, is highlighted. It's talking to you loudly. So it will support you on your spiritual evolution, spiritual business evolution, whatever, self-development evolution, whatever wherever you are at right now in your life. So yeah, let's finish this here, because I could talk more. And next video will be about digestion. I already said some important things about that, but I'm going to cover it more, and tell you why it is important, and so on and so on. We will also touch the dhatus a little bit, which are body tissues in that sense, and more information is coming. But now that is everything for today. I believe you liked it, you enjoyed it, and you have some takeaways and ahas as well. And if you feel like you want to be in my container, you want to be guided through me, you want to level up your soul business, or you want to lead your business through your soul, or you're interested in spiritual development, if you are studying some spiritual and practicing some spiritual techniques, and you would like to level up, then I'm very happy to invite you in my container, where we will work on that together, one to one, for a couple of weeks, like 6 weeks. And if you want to know more information, of course, let me know, and we can talk more. For today, it's everything, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you very soon with the next video.